Yeah, there it is, 17th of April 2018. By some miracle, a lot of lying, cheating, stealing, telling people information they only needed to know so they can't get the whole picture together. I've managed to get myself in here to the Ihsas Khan court case. It's about 9:05. I've got 10 minutes before I'm going to go in, and I can't see a throng of media yet. There's people everywhere, so I'm not going to show I'll just show the buildings where I am. There's a Reserve Bank building, but anyway, there's people everywhere. They don't like to be filmed. And also, don't look people in the eye when you walk around Sydney. Just look, I worked in the city for a lot of years, down the other end of town, not this big end of town. And I've got to say, 1 in 5 people are fucking normal. The rest are just fucking robots, just fucking programmed to just react to certain jokes and to carry on. I'm not going to go into that, it's another video. But anyway, I've made it in. So, like I said, I can't see any media over there. It's in the King Street building. So I'll get over there in about 10 minutes and we'll see how we go. Alright? Okay then. Okay, I'm just outside that courtroom. There's a few people milling around. You can't see him very well, but that's the man from Tel Aviv. He's over there. He's behind the guy with the shirt. I'm not going to point it, put it on him. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens today. So that's the court. I'll wait for him to go in and then I'll wander in. I don't know what that guy's there doing with his bag. So there's a few punters around. So it'll be interesting. I wonder if people have been following me have come down. Anyway, alright, I'm going to go in a second. I was wrong. I was wrong. It's going to trial. It's going to trial. But, because, okay, I've reformed my opinion. I thought that it was perhaps Bellew was, in battles with these guys and the New South Wales Judiciary, but no, certainly not the case. What they want to do is they want to get a conviction. Okay, so you're thinking, okay, well, why the directions hearing? What was that all about? Okay, it's very interesting and very intriguing what this directions hearing was about. So, I took some notes. You can't really read them there. Look, in the public gallery, there was just me, and there was about 7 people, and the guy from Tel Aviv was there, and there was a second guy who looked a bit like him, but didn't really sit with him. He sat up the back, but he didn't take any notes or do anything. He just sat there watching, and there was 3 women, and one young woman was taking notes. Now, I don't know whether she's from the media or whatever, but she was sitting in a public gallery, but so did there goes the defence team. So they're just walking past me now. Anyway, she's over there. That's her lifting up the bag. Can't see her, this is camera. This is a good thing. Anyway, yeah, my kids wrecked it. So, let's just get into this. The 2 motions were put forward. Now, what they do, so the public can't really get any detail, is they all look at these documents and call them clause 3. This was clause 3.9 in this case, and another clause. And what they'll do is they'll say, yeah, I've read it, do you agree to it? Yeah. So you don't get to hear what the clauses are, yet they get to talk about it, but without the public or anyone can find out what exactly are in these clauses. So there's a bit more to that as well. So what happened with the first motion, now that was in regards to the media. Now the judge, as I said, I couldn't. They didn't talk about the clauses out loud, but this was as they were just getting into a discussion about it, talking surface stuff that they had to in order to communicate, but probably didn't really want to. But from what I could gather, the media, now I was taking notes and I could hear them, so this is how cryptic they'll be, that I could sit there and listen and I still can't work out exactly what was going on, but I'll do my best to interpret it. From what I heard, it appears like they want to stop media having access to the witnesses, in that he said he needed to give, the first motion was about the media's involvement. Now, I mean, it's a bit late now, isn't it? We all saw a current affair a long time ago now, but that was, it's, oh, I mean, they had control of this right from the start, so, you know, it's all been planned. Like, make no mistake, even though it's going to trial, it's all bullshit. But they're going to run the trial, and it looks like in order to control the, they're going to try and hide all the parts of it that show it to be bullshit. So they're going to limit access to witnesses, so their testimony is going to be confidential. You're not going to hear what they're going to say. The media isn't allowed to report that. And I don't know if the gallery's going to be public, if I can just go in. I don't know. But certainly the media are restricted, so they're putting restrictions on this thing. That's what this directions hearing was about. And the the judge, he made comment that he would make orders on the media for each witness. So that's the minutiae, the detail in which they're going to control how they're going to control the bullshit not to come out. You know, they're just going to do the minimal, allow any stuff that's sort of sensationalist, but anything that looks like it would show it to be bullshit, i.e. probably the blood. Like he lost about 6 litres of blood according to my calculations on the blood splatter, right? All that sort of stuff. The blue car, is he a witness? Well, you know, someone would say to him, well, what were you doing? Like PK, it's a great question. What was he doing? I'd love PK to be the cross-examiner on the blue car guy. Well, yeah, you were parked there. Okay, well, what were you thinking when you drove up there? See? They don't want any of those questions, okay? So that's how they're doing this thing. I'm sorry this video goes on for a while. Just hang in there. I've got a bit of a cold and you want to hang in there. It's up to you, I guess. Now, this was really... So that was in relation to the media overall. And then there was a second motion. Now, this second motion came from the Commissioner of the Federal Police. So you got some idiot running around with a knife. Look, there's more stuff to this as well. There was the buying of a house in August 2016, then the selling of the house in February. All this stuff points this to be bullshit, right? So anyway, so we know it's bullshit. We know it's a big fucking cover-up, but they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. They want to get a terrorist conviction. Without a terrorist conviction, really, if they had have said that it was a mental health case, I'd write straight to the media outlets and go, okay, therefore repeal all those laws. They were bullshit. So I think that's one of the reasons they want to get a conviction, but it's really hard for them. Well, they're going to do it, but there's a lot of work for them to control all the information that shows that bullshit, as I said before. So this is what this directions hearing was about. Now, the Commissioner of Police had given, this is like really weird, right? It was a confidential affidavit from the Commissioner of the Federal Police for the motion in relation to the witnesses. And Billy was saying things like, oh yeah, it's been my experience that, you know, that's what he said. His words were, we've got to keep it structured because depending on who asks, that's what he said, depending on who asks the questions and how it's answered, you know, and he's making out like it could compromise the case. No, it won't compromise the case or the defence. In fact, the more freedom of information, the more free information out there, should be the better. But the problem is for them is the more free information that's out there is that it's going to expose it to be bullshit and not a real event. So that's what they're doing. So they're going ahead with the trial. Now, this is the interesting part. The affidavit and the order that the judge signed today. Now, he didn't keep an order. I saw him. There was a guy in robes, the chief prosecutor, not the Tel Aviv guy. He always sits in the background. He's the puppet master, and all these other guys are puppets. I know it. I knew when I saw him in Parramatta. And, they did nothing. Anyway, he said, okay, I'm going to give you this order, right? So he's losing control of it, right? And I'm going to give it to you, and then when the short minutes, some redacted short minutes, probably in relation to some minutes. That was another thing they were talking about, these clauses and short minutes. They both know what they are, but they won't actually read them out so anyone knows what they are. They just talk about them, and you've got to like try and pick between what the words they're using as to what it's about. So He said, so I'm going to give it to you, and then at trial, you will then, you can give me an undertaking now that you'll keep that order and produce it. And he said, yeah. You know, just make a copy. You got like 2-3 court assistants there. You run off, make a copy. Right, you've got the original, I've got a copy. No one would give the one and only copy out of their control. So I think that's by design. Now the last thing I wanted to say was that, oh look, Mr. Bearloo's, I'm not sure about the trial dates. So this is where I think they're going to try and publish dates and then get them not accurate, because he's talking about his schedule, and I've got to speak to the Chief Justice about how I work my schedule around. He's got other stuff on apparently the trial of the fucking century with the Commissioner of the Federal Police sending him confidential affidavits isn't important enough for him to schedule the other work he's got, which is just civil, which is just, you know, oh, taxi driver didn't take me to me right stop, oh okay then, let's just fucking spend taxpayers' money on this shit like that. He's got to move this one around. So I don't know which court it's going to be in. I would probably not. So from what he said, all those court dates are inaccurate. He says, oh look, you know, I've got some other stuff on, and I'm not going to go too much into it, but just to say it's going to be difficult to try and get to the court hearings. And the media, I don't know about whether the public access, but anything, you know, I think I think I should still be able to get access to it. So I'm going to try my hardest to get down there for that. So anyway, look, that's it. So yeah, just a quick summary. 2 motions. It's not mental health. It's going to trial, as I said, because they want a conviction. Otherwise, all those laws they brought in are bullshit. Well, they bullshit anyway, and so is this thing. The directions hearing were 2 motions that are designed to only allow the publication of things that don't expose it as, probably the very few things that don't expose it as being a hoax, as being staged, as being total bullshit. And the other motion was in relation to the witnesses and access to them, this confidential affidavit from the Commissioner of Federal Police. So that's it. I'm going to keep following this thing. It's getting more intriguing. I was amazed at how many people were there today and how it didn't go straight to mental health case. So anyway, that's it. All right, that's it then. Let's bring on the trial, and hopefully I'll get in there and at least in the trial, people have got to talk. They can't just all read documents before and go, oh, do you agree to clause 3.9? Yep, tick. I'll make an order on that. Do you agree? So no one knows what's going on. At least in the court, I'll be able to hear it, hopefully. All right, that's it.